Good morning, everybody. Okay, continuing again with the stories from the newsroom. Today, I want to talk about how I began my career as a reporter. But before that, it nearly ended before it started. So what happened was in late 1995, I joined the NST. I took a certificate in journalism. They call it the pre-editorial training scheme, or PETS or PETS. So that's 3 months of classroom and 1 month practical. So about one quarter of the year just gone. And at the end of it, as a trainee, you will be rated, and based on your performance, you will be streamed. So they either send you to sports desk, economic desk, feature desk. Very few get that, or the main desk, which is covering news. So there were like I think almost 20 odd people who joined the program, including myself. I sat through the whole thing, and at the end of the assessment and all that, there's classroom exams, written exams, and then 1 month practical. So you spend 2 weeks at a certain desk, and another 2 weeks at a certain desk or unit in the newspaper, before everything is calculated, tallied, and all that. So one of the main criteria is that they want to see whether you are competent for the job, and if they feel that you have affinity towards sports, they will recommend you to go to the sports desk, because quota has to be met. Anyway, I did my theory, I did my practical, graduated from the training program. And at the end of it, during the announcement, I was sent to the news desk. So after 4 months, I went to work. Okay, believe it or not, first day on the job, I was sent to do stories on my own, because based on my previous experience. But my experience was mainly doing photography. Reporting is something very new, and then going out on my own, okay, really challenging. So there was a tip off about this construction site that breached the environmental impact assessment. So the then Selangor State Exco for Science and Environment held a press conference. So during the press conference, he said, okay, this construction site, this project, they have breached the environmental impact assessment. The state government has identified so and so. So before he concluded, he said that, however, there's another construction site nearby who did the same. Didn't reveal anything, didn't name names, he left it as it is, despite reporters pressuring it. So I went back to the office, I filed in the story well into the night. And one of the guys who cleared the copy said, hey, name the other company. I said, I'm not sure. Look up Bernama. We have this system called Library Online, which is also, the acronym is LOL. So went into the Library Online intranet, dig up the thing, search the project. A Bernama report came up. So I never trusted Bernama because of their factual inaccuracies and very shoddy reporting. But that particular project has this name, okay. It was reported that the project owner signed some agreement, signed papers, and it was taken over by a real big corporate entity in the finance sector. So technically, they are the developer proper. So the name came out. Everything went through the hierarchy. The reporter sent in the copy. The desk person, the copy clearer cleared the copy, went up to the editor, production editor, came out on print. So the next morning when I came to work, everybody from the news desk went out. I was there alone. So I sat there on the desk wondering what's going on. So I was told there was a factual error, the company that was named as the developer of the other project that breached the environmental impact assessment denied of such wrongdoing. I say, okay, something is wrong somewhere, but never mind, it's just a factual error. So I think the norm is you carry a correction. But I was made to wait until after lunchtime. Then my boss, the then chief news editor, Mr. Tony Francis, told me, hey Sam, you better go and see the man, the big boss. He's expecting you. So I went to his office. I spoke to his secretary. She said, you just wait at the door. So I was made to stand at the door for another 45 minutes. Then I was asked to go into the man's room. I went to his room. I stood in front of him. He asked me, you know what you have done? I said, yeah, I went to this place. I reported this news, but there was a factual error. Then he said, no. You have embarrassed me. So the way he said it, the tone, I say, okay, oops, I think there is something more than meets the eye in this conversation. Then he said, you should have called me to verify the copy, and I have the last say. So I tell him, I told him, I said, hey boss, I'm just a lowly reporter, I just started work yesterday, right? You have this whole entire bunch of people clearing copy and all that. By right, they are the ones who should inform you. They said, you're an experienced person, used to work in the Sun. I said, no, you got your facts wrong. I work in Utu Sun. Then he said, get out. So I said, okay, that was it. So I went back to my little table, which I share, kind of like hot bunk with other people. I waited. Okay, I went. The assistant editor said, okay, you go for follow-up. You go for the assignment. So I went to see this owner of the so-called site that got breached and all that. And I met the actual owner, this lady. She was throwing a fit. And then representative from the corporate company who took over the project, they were there. So one of the honchos told me, he said, yeah, we took over the project, but it's still under handover stage. There's still some, although we inked the agreement, we are finalizing the receivership. So there's this like 50-50 thing going down. The deal may fall through, blah blah blah, and all that. So halfway, walking me through the project, one of the guys showed me this small little plot. Said, yeah, that belonged to your boss. So I told myself, oh fuck man, but never mind, right? Corruption exists, and people are on the take. I don't answer that because I'm just doing an honest day job. So I say, okay. I went back to the office, filing the story. The next day, coming to work, one of the editors walked up to me. He said, hey, you have been transferred to the supplements desk. You need to pack up in 24 hours, Then I say, oh man, I just started work. I have a 3-year bond. Looks like they want to they just threw me under the bus, If I quit, I just walk away. But I got to pay back 3 years worth of bond. So I said, nah, fuck it, I just stay in the game. So I was transferred to this supplements desk. Super duper cold storage. When you fuck up, that's where you go. So my career ended before it actually began. But I said, never mind, everybody has to go through this. One thing is character building. So I joined this desk. The boss is this really old guy, he's like almost retiring. The second person in charge is this old lady, quite a funny character, I think, very mental. And there was this very senior lady there, who was very nice. She did her work with grace, but I think she just wanted to spend the remaining days, going to retire and just take it easy and all that. So I was the oddball that don't quite fit in. So at that period, I wrote about light bulbs, chandelier, curtain, sofas and all that. And being disadvantaged, I had to sell my car to take a pay cut to join this company as a reporter. Life was super tough. There were days I finished work late, the last bus just took off. I have to walk home. But well, if you don't suffer then, I think it'll be worse if you get hit now. So during that period, the people around me, they were like super condescending. So there was this hotshot reporter from Business Time walk up to me and say, "Ayo, before you even started, you kena banish, you're a useless guy." I say, "Okay, I take it with a pinch of salt." So the guy who cleared the copy, who asked me to name the corporate, just literally lost his guts. The guy just faded away, dare not look me in the eye and talk to me or what, because he knew he fucked up. But I take the fall. I take one for the team. So having said that, I thought just the reporters, the editors are quite mean, egotistical and all that. But I was wrong. Okay, the NST, they had this clerk, this lady who sits in front there. She will do like administrative work, just a clerk, So I just walked past her. I went to the printer to pick up a printout. She said to me, she looked me in the eye and said, "So I heard you quit already." Then I said, "Okay, this is my opportunity to do a psychological war." Then I said, yeah. It's my last week in the company. I found a job in the shipyard, cleaning the interior of all tankers and all that. Pays very well, US dollars, wonderful. I think I'm more suited for that kind of labor work than working as a reporter here, because there's no place for me. I'm done. The moment I said that, the entire intranet messaging system, this like they have this messaging system on the editorial, like a network, so you can group message everybody. This was before WhatsApp and all that. So the news travel, boom, everybody on the newsroom say, "Oh my God, you're leaving. I thought you were much tougher than that," and all that. But little they knew that I just mind fucked them. So I persevered. 3 months after that gig in supplements desk, I was ferreted out to a youth newspaper. Also didn't last long. Have to deal with a very insecure editor. Then after a fallout, I was absorbed into the features desk. That I worked there until from 1996 to 1998. So a good 2 years in the features desk, which I focus a lot on agriculture, heavy industry, and defense. So like any other politically appointed editor, when it comes to a time where there's a regime change, the man himself, the guy who fucked me off and all that, had to leave. So he wrote a 2-page letter, put it on the notice board, which nobody bothered, and everybody was quite happy that he actually left, and it was an interesting experience, because the guy really ruled like with an iron fist, like super dictator. Everything must be his way. You don't do well, you get banished. He fucked a lot of people, but ultimately, you know, he was shown to the door because there was a regime change. And then with every regime change, new people get to, you see new people in the picture, and that's a totally different story. So the NST was a good place to learn. You know, if you can survive the NST, you can work anywhere in the world. Set aside your political alignment, set aside, you know, your ambition and all that. If you purely want to learn how to write, that is the place to work, because your future is set there. Anyway, despite the setback, you know, earlier in my career, I did pretty okay. Then I went to the Malay Mail. You guys heard what happened in the Malay Mail, but I will get to one story, very interesting story in the Malay Mail. And at the NST, I think I fulfilled my dream. I joined the newspaper and actually see the world. So that's my career that nearly ended before it began.